All right. So I have this idea that the United States is a corporation. That is to say, it operates the main focus. I think the United States is a corporation. Let's start right there. And the main focus of any corporation is the management of money, the flow of funds throughout the corporation. That's why, for example, if you get in trouble with the law, the first thing that they do is they demand money from you. Or if you want to live comfortably within the United States, you have to pay a certain amount to someone, because everything works off of money in the United States. And to take it a step further, I would say that maybe the entire world, this entire plane that we're on is governed by some sort of corporate construct, some kind of corporate entity, some kind of global corporation, if that's what you want to call it. And I think that the general population has the right to operate within the same parameters that the United States corporation operates. We should be able to interact with them on an equal footing, because we have our own rights, which cannot be superseded by another person, another corporation, or any other entity. And you know this in yourself to be true. There's nobody who can tell you about you and make you do something you do not want to do. So the United States is a corporation, and the general population has the right to operate within the same capacity. Now, I don't know much about the United States corporation. I just know what I see. And what I see is money transactions everywhere. That's what a business does. That's what a corporation does. So I want to know more about the United States corporation so that I will know how to interact with the United States corporation for my benefit and not to my detriment, which has been the case so far. Everything, every credit, every monetary, pecuniary amount that I get eventually goes right back to the United States government, or it eventually leaves my hand, and I'm always left with a debt to pay. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know how it is that I can balance my books in the same way. How can I balance my books as it pertains to dealings with the United States corporation? So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to start by reading certain documents created by the United States corporation. These documents outline how the United States corporation works and how to interact with the United States. So the first document I'm going to read is the United States Constitution. This is the very first document that they teach you about in school once you become old enough or mature enough, I guess, to begin learning about the United States. One of the first things they tell you is they drafted the Constitution back in let's actually take a look at that. So it was back in 1776 that the United States Constitution was signed, and that just so happens to be a year after the United States was founded. A lot of times when you hear the word founded, it's a corporation or a business, is it not? Or you hear about a founder of something, it's normally a business or some kind of corporation or some kind of company like that, right? That's the majority of time when you will hear that word. So kinda not a coincidence that they use those kind of words to describe the United States and its coming into being. All right, so now we're going to read the United States Constitution. It says in the preamble, the first part of the Constitution, we the people of the United States. We the people is supposed to be the general, we the people are the original, who they call founding fathers. Or we the people are supposed to be the select individuals, a few individuals who are supposed to represent the general population. So it's only a few people that this United States Constitution is created for, is in a benefit for. We the people, the representatives of the populace of the United States, not the actual general population of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. Domestic tranquility is the peace of my immediate relations. Provide for the common defense, because there are going to be those who are against you, and you have to who are against your company or against your corporation and how you operate. So you're going to have to protect your company. Promote the general welfare, and the general welfare of who? It just says promote the general welfare. That could be for just the United States corporation, or it could be talking about the general population. But you don't get that idea. It doesn't specify. And so once again, I have to go off of what I see around me. And the United States does not appear to me to be operating for the benefit of the general population. So the general welfare must be for the corporation. And secure the blessings of liberty, being able to do what you want at will. That's a blessing. A blessing to me is something like a divine right, something that's how can I use? Cosmically ordained. Not of this world, a not of this world right, given to you when you enter this plane, or coming with you as you enter this plane. So to secure to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves, that is the original framers of the Constitution, who are supposed to represent the general population, or so that's what we're taught, and our posterity. The word posterity means that which comes after me. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. So right off the bat, it tells you, in my opinion, that the United States Constitution is going to outline how the United States corporation operates as it pertains to the protection of its assets, to provide the for the peace of the company, which means to make sure that the United States corporation operates in a way that is not detrimental to itself. So, you know what I'm saying, not having more allies than enemies. We could say that, right? So right off the bat, this document is outlining what it's gonna outline. It's right now, what this document is saying is this is about to outline how to do the aforementioned things. So the first section of the Constitution, starting out, Article 1, Section 1 of the United States Constitution says, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. Right off the bat, it's talking about what powers the United States has. Over who? Over what? It doesn't say. It just says that the Congress has powers. And the Congress consists of two parties, the Senate and the House of Representatives. And then it goes on from Section 2 to talk about how the House of Representatives is structured, who can be part of the House of Representatives, and what the requirements are to become a member of the House of Representatives. And how taxes shall be apportioned according to the number of representatives, according to the respective numbers of each state. So the population of each state determines how many representatives in the House a particular state will have. Section 3 talks about the Senate and how it is composed, its members, and the requirements of becoming members of the Senate. It says here that the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. So the power to remove an officer from office, mainly the CEO, the chief executive officer, also known as the president of the company. So it seems like Senate deals with the Senate is the judicial arm of the United States corporation. It's a major judicial arm of the United States corporation. I'm just scanning through the document right now because I've already read it multiple times, so there's no need for me to read it again. If you want to understand how the United States operates, I would encourage you to download a copy of the United States Constitution, or get a hard copy, keep it with you everywhere you go, and just, look over it, read it, understand it. Section 5 talks about the rules of each house, how each house should behave. Let's see, Section 7, raising revenue shall originate in the house. Raising revenue means money or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but we can go ahead and look that up right now. Revenue. Let's move this over right here. Income, revenue, income. And so let's go back here. Nope, where is it at down here? So all bills for raising money shall originate in the House of Representatives. Congress has the power, apparently, to raise money, to create income. And you have to do that by law. There has to be some kind of law which stipulates why you need money flowing throughout the system in the first place. So that seems to be where money comes from. A law. There's a law that says we need this amount of money right here. And if you watch the news, you'll hear a lot of the times agencies need funding for this, so the president signed this bill right here. That's the Congress that's the Congress passing a law onto the president in order to raise funds for a specific operation, or you know what I'm saying, a service or something like that. It talks about how a law becomes a law. It has to go through the House of Representatives and then the Senate and then on to the president. And you know this from, elementary, middle school. If the president doesn't agree with the bill, he can veto it, send it back to Congress. Congress and the House of Senate will vote each, a 9-3 vote each in each house or something like that. And if both houses approve, if both houses vote unanimously, or at least a majority in the positive for that bill, is passed into law. So, other powers that the United States claims to have. This is Section 8 of the United States Constitution. To lay and collect taxes. Once again, we're talking about how money is going to be raised and passed throughout the system. Raise and collect taxes, duties, imposts, excises, to pay the debts and for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. Notice that it uses the word welfare of the United States and not welfare of the people of the United States. It has the power to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations, to establish the uniform rule of naturalization. Naturalization is the process of becoming a citizen of the United States. And to establish uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. Once again, it's laws. There are certain laws that have to be passed before money can begin circulation. Alright. To declare war, Congress has the power to declare war. Nobody else. So the president can't go out here and say, I'm declaring war on this country right here. He has to get approval from the Congress. So it's the people who are elected into Congress. Are those people even elected or are they selected? Let's see. Maybe that'll be the next thing we talk about. How members of Congress. Actually, I think that's actually described in the earlier part, in one of the earlier sections of the United States Constitution. So let's see here. We're gonna scroll back up here. We'll start right here. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained the age of 30, who shall not have attained the age of 30 years old and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, so congressmen are elected. That's nice to know. What does it mean to be elected into Congress? Uh-oh, wrong button. Go ahead and close that real quick. Dad, come on.
I can.
Elect. That's an interesting definition. Elect definition. So, to be elected into Congress means to be chosen to hold a public office or some other position by voting. But who elects congressmen? Who elects Congress? Oh, so it's once again we the people. It's supposed to be the members of the general population who elect members of Congress. They are elected by direct popular vote. Senators are elected via a statewide vote and representatives by voters in each congressional district. Congressional districts are apportioned by state once every 10 years, based on population figures. Let me see. Congressional districts. I need to understand that more. Congressional districts. Are the 435 areas from which members are elected to the House of Representatives. I'm going to assume congressional districts are also known as electoral districts, legislative district, wards, and electorates. In other nations are divisions of a larger administration region that represents the pop. It seems to me that where are we at here? It seems to me that some parts of a Congress are not elected by members of the general population, but by members who are supposed to represent the masses of the general population. All right, so where were we? declare war, okay, to provide and support armies, to provide a navy, to make rules for the government and regulation of land and naval forces, to make rules for the government and regulation of the land. Oh, to make rules for the government and regulation of land and naval forces. Okay. Somehow you have to pay, or sometimes you have to pay attention to how you read the United States Constitution, or any document for that matter, coming from the United States Corporation, because a lot of the times you'll think it says one thing, but don't realize that it means something else. So really pay attention to what you're reading. And do what I do. You see, if there's something I don't understand, I'll go right to Google or some other search engine and I'll look it up. Also have a Black's Law dictionary in the back, which I'm probably going to pull out a little bit later, so that I can get a very good understanding, a very decent understanding of what I'm researching, what I'm looking into. Congress has the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district as may, by secession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of the government. Whoa, see what I'm talking about? See what? Because that don't make no sense to me. Congress has the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever. Legislation means as the exclusive right to pass laws. Over such district as may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress. Okay. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such districts as may, and also by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, has the power to also become the seat of government of the United States and to exercise like authority. So really what I'm saying is, if I want to operate in this on the same equal footing as the United States, I'll have to do what Congress does. And I should be able to do that because I am a free person, or I am a free man, right? I am at will, I'm at liberty to do what I want, so long as it's for my benefit, but also not to the detriment of someone else. Another free man like myself. Interesting. Once again, it plainly states the Congress has the power to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution. So this Constitution gives validity. This is what I'm understanding. This Constitution gives validity to the idea that Congress has such aforementioned powers. Right, interesting. Alright, so you need to work with me here. It's Congress who decides whether or not to admit immigrants into the country, and to tax or not to tax such importation. So immigrants coming into the country will be taxed, as well as this is like any other import or export commodity coming into the United States. Which leads me to recall that it's been said quite a lot before that people of the United States, the living flesh and blood human soul, is a commodity of the United States. Let's understand more what that word commodity means. Just so we're all clear. Commodity. Yep, right there. Commodity. Okay. Raw materials or primary agricultural products that can be bought or sold. People can be bought and sold. I mean, why do you think we have jobs? We're being bought. You know what I'm saying? We have jobs and we expect payment. We are effectively selling ourselves to the United States corporation for some kind of benefit. All right. Article 2 talks about the executive powers. That is the powers that the president has, the president of the United States corporation has. Let's see. Which ones really stand out to me? Like I said, I've read this document before, so I can skim over it to the parts that'll really stand out, because I understand most of it for the most part. And how, you know what I'm saying, understand the layout of the Constitution. So what each section mean and what each subsection means and why it's structured the way it's structured. So right now it's talking about how the president is chosen. Before the president enters, or before the president begins executing his power in office, or before the president begins acting in his official capacity, he has to swear that he will execute the office of president and will do his best to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. Why would you need to swear to protect the Constitution and preserve and abide by the Constitution instead of swearing to preserve and protect the people of the United States? Because once again, what is really being said is, as the president, I swear to follow the rules of the United States corporation and to defend such corporation against any violators. So I remember one time I made a video addressing Joe Biden concerning certain laws that are in effect that I thought he had the power to change. But it's not the president. The only thing that the president does is follow the rules of the United States corporation set forth by the United States Congress. So what I really should have done is make a video addressing my specific congressman, or any congressman for that matter, representing the United States, to change the law that I wanted changed. So later on down the line, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be addressing a specific congressman. Maybe I'll be doing that. Because let's not forget, my first goal is to operate in the same capacity that the United States corporation works, which means I want to be the head of my own company, right? And I want the same rights and protections that comes with being the head of my own company. Yeah. So maybe not appealing to another company to change the way it is concerning its laws, but rather I should address them saying, hey, I am another corporation just like you, and here is how I want to interact with you or do business with you. All other such transactions are void and will not be recognized by me. All right, Section 3 talks about the judicial powers of the United States. That is the powers that the courts have. strange. I was just talking about being something like an ambassador. The judicial powers shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution. So the judges can only oversee cases where law and equity are concerned, and the law is that of the United States Congress, backed by its powers given to it by the United States Constitution. So all of these other laws that they have circulating right now is nowhere mentioned in the United States Constitution. So what they're passing as law is cannot be tried in a court, because these are what I'll call pseudo laws. These are things that look or are supposed to be law but are actually not law. These are just something that Congress threw out there and said, hey, we can do this because we're Congress, but you can't do that. And yeah, like I said, it's strange that I was talking about acting as like an ambassador from another corporation coming to the United States saying, hey, I have the same powers as you, and this is how we're going to interact. It says, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and councils, the judicial powers of the United States Congress will oversee cases such as those. So I will have to go to some kind of congressional court it sounds like to me, I would have to go to some kind of congressional court in order to have the kind of meeting that I was talking about. Once again, talking more about, we're in section 4 right now, article 4, section 1 of the United States Constitution, further explaining the operation of the United States Corporation. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Full faith and credit. I've heard that before, but I've never really taken the time to. You know what? Let's get the Black's Law Dictionary for this one. So, the definition of full faith and credit, according to the Black's Law Dictionary, is, the full faith and credit clause of the Constitution, United States, Article 4, subsection 1, requires that foreign judgment be given such faith and credit as it had by law or uses of state of its origin. Basically, what that means is every judgment made by the United States Congress in passing of its laws shall be giving the credit or the authority by the Congress. That's what gives law its credibility, its backing, I guess, if you will. So when the Article 4, Section 1 of the Constitution says, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, what it's saying is those states that pass certain what they'll call laws, acts and records and stuff like that, shall have the backing of the United States Corporation as its parent company, I guess. which is I guess that's how they want to operate right there. States can pass laws, and they are given credit by the United States. Okay. So, how can I operate in the same capacity? I am, in my own capacity, my own government. I am self-regulating. That's what government means, regulation. Or government and regulation are a lot of the times interchangeable or synonymous. So I am a self-regulating entity, acting as, oh, you will see this in the Constitution too, acting as a body politic. My whole body works together to regulate certain functions and the function of the entire body as a whole. I am my own government. And there are certain laws which my body follows, which cannot be broken, or there will be consequences for breaking those laws. And that law is given its power based on based on a historical timeline. I guess we could say something like that. It's based on historical action. Okay, it's like the United States makes a lot of its judgments based off of case law. Case law is really laws that are passed based on the judgment of a previous court case, right? Or some laws become laws based on the judgment of a previous court case. So the laws of my body are created because of previous actions. And so this is now how I operate. I am the CEO of my body politic. There's no one else who can be the head of my company. There's no one else who can manage the currency that there's no one else who can manage my currency. Only I can do that. These are the powers given to me, vested in me, and which I plan to use to interact with you, the United States corporation. Right? So, yeah. And the rest of this, is like I said, you can go and read the rest of this. It goes down to the preamble. I mean, not the preamble, the Bill of Rights, which is the collection of amendments to the constitutions. But that's just how the United States corporation works, starting out. So I hope this video made sense to anyone watching. It didn't make much sense coming from myself at the moment, but that's because I'm listening, but I'm giving information, but I'm also receiving information at the same time. So multitasking has always been something that's a little difficult for me. So maybe or most likely I'm gonna look back at this video and see how much sense I made, and then we can make amendments as needed, just like the Constitution, and then we'll progress from there, just like the United States corporation. Crazy how that works.